Hello, my name is Ben Lovegrove, and in this video I'm going to list 7 things I've learned in the University of Life. I'm now in the final third of my life. Who knows, it could be the final quarter, or maybe I'll drop dead tomorrow. That's one of life's mysteries, but more on that in a minute. So now seems like a good time to share a few things that may help today's teenagers and those in their 20s. If you're older than that, then maybe these tips will help you too, but the chances are that by your 30s and 40s, you've formed strong opinions and philosophies of your own. Before I give you my list, here's a bit of background. My teenage years were in the 1970s in the UK. This was 20 years before the web and 10 years before most people could afford a personal computer of any kind. The Cold War was in full swing and Britain endured strikes and electricity blackouts. Like most teenagers, I was naive and idealistic. I wanted to make the world a better place. Environmentalism was a growing force. We went on marches to save the whales from slaughter and to protest against the testing of nuclear weapons in the South Pacific. We protested against nuclear power plants, promoted the use of sustainable energy, and campaigned to have nuclear weapons removed from British soil. The early 1970s was the time of the final Apollo space missions. I imagined that by the year 2000 there would be bases on the moon, flying cars, and the bright modern world portrayed by science fiction writers whose books we read sometimes by candlelight due to those blackouts. Maybe your children or grandchildren will get to fly in space, but it's unlikely to be our generation. Anyway, let's get on with the list. My first tip is, start a pension. Even if it's just a few pounds a month, start early and keep it going. Yes, I know, it's a boring subject, and you probably think there's plenty of time. Well, that's another of life's lessons. You have far less time than you think. It really does fly by, and you'll be wondering where it all went and how you arrived at this point with so many dreams unfulfilled. You don't want to reach the age of 70 only to discover you're having to choose between eating or heating your tiny flat. Trust me on this. You'll thank me when you're over 60 and I'm long gone. My second tip is, all politicians lie. Okay, perhaps not all of them all of the time, but they tell some enormous fibs just to get your vote. You will have to vote for someone, so don't take anything they say on face value. Check and check again. Listen to all sides of the argument. And don't waste your vote. Not voting at all leaves you powerless and hands power to others. My third tip is, be prepared to be wrong. This is not just about politics, but relationships of all types. It's so easy to make the wrong assumptions about people, situations, and ideas. Always imagine a situation from the opposite point of view. Stand in the other person's shoes and look back at yourself. Imagine if you're the person you're arguing with and walk a mile in their moccasins. Changing your view based on new information and insights is a sign of maturity, not weakness. My fourth tip is, get outdoors. You're young, so your body is at its peak. Try several of the following: walking, running, cycling, swimming, sailing, flying, horse riding, rock climbing, or any other outdoor activity that attracts you, that puts the wind in your hair and the sun on your face. Mother Nature is your friend. She'll be there waiting for you all your life. Visit her often and you'll reap lots of rewards. And form the habit of enjoying gentle exercise and you'll live a longer, healthier and therefore happier life. My fifth tip is, be courteous, be kind. This can be difficult to maintain all of the time, but strive to achieve it. There's so much rage in the world, and so many people can be rude and aggressive, but if you try to remember that people get angry when they're in pain, it will help. You will not like everyone you meet, and not everyone will like you, but good manners and civility are the grease that keeps society running smoothly. I'm not suggesting that you submit to meek acceptance or become the doormat on which people wipe their feet. But don't take anger personally. It's rarely aimed at you directly. This is especially worth remembering when using social media and when travelling on roads and pavements. A little kindness, a little courtesy can sometimes be the small act that transforms someone's mood from gloom to optimism. If you want to take this further, then there are plenty of opportunities for voluntary work in your local community. My sixth tip is, things are better than the media tells you. Every day the news media fills our minds with dire warnings, things to worry about, and tales of doom. Their job is to make you fear, to worry, and to be concerned. That is not a true reflection of the status of the world. Of course, there are still many problems to solve, and there's still so much suffering, but there's been a lot of progress since the 20th century. So don't rely on the mainstream news. Find out what's really happening by reading books by travel writers, impartial historians, and experts in particular fields. My seventh tip is, you're doing fine. Let me tell you a secret. No one has all the answers, and most people haven't got any. Even the so-called experts can only tell you what they've learned so far. There's always more. But don't worry about it. Part of life's fun and mystery is the exploration, the journey of discovery. What really counts is your own personal experiences. If you want spiritual guidance, religions are like old road maps that have pages missing and heavy creases at the folds that makes them difficult to read. They can work really well, and they do a lot of good for billions of people. They preserve some wonderful sites and buildings around the world. But there's no single religion that has all the answers, and even those they may possess have become tarnished and distorted over the centuries. So when you start to wonder about the big questions like, is there life after death? What's the purpose of life, etc., the answers available are as unreliable and unsatisfactory as asking, what's sex like? You have to experience it yourself and draw your own conclusions. Only then will you realize that nothing beats experience. And the more you practice, the better you get at whatever it is, playing the violin, public speaking, or just being a parent. I hope these helped. Either way, leave a comment below and let me know. If you want more of these tips, tell me, or tell me I'm wasting my time. Please give this video a like and share it with others. And subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.